On behalf of everyone who worked toward this convention, I'd like to extend our warmest welcome to our annual, but for the first time, virtual WSPA Fall Convention. I'm glad you're here. In thinking about 2020, I wasn't initially sure what to say. The first words that came to my mind are now well-worn cliches for this year: unprecedented, trying, exhausting, extraordinary. We are psychologists, however, and one of the values our profession holds deeply is the ability and willingness to turn towards difficult truths. My colleagues and friends, 2020 has been tragic. There's an ongoing public health crisis of pandemic proportions. When I checked yesterday, over 217,000 Americans have died of COVID-19, and over 1 million people globally have died. Recent estimates suggest that the US death toll may double within as short a timeline as February. In our country, this year has also included atrocities of racial injustice, both the violent deaths of people of color, too numerous to list, and the systemic health inequities resulting in the chilling reality that COVID-19 infects and kills Black and Brown people at significantly higher rates. These painful realities are nothing new. America was largely built on the labor of enslaved Black people, and our continental expansion included the genocide of Indigenous Americans. To be alive in this country in 2020 means that we're living through ongoing tragedies. To be a psychologist in Washington in 2020 means that we are living through these tragedies as we work to support our patients, clients, colleagues, employers, and communities as they live through these same experiences. Where exactly do we go from here? How do we keep moving forward in the face of these crises, caring for ourselves and others as we do so? I believe this moment is the perfect, if most perfectly challenging, moment to be a psychologist. The theme for this year's convention is fostering resilience in challenging times. Who better than psychologists to rise to this occasion, lifting our communities with us as we work? I want to turn to a moment earlier this year, before these issues weighed in on our collective consciousness as they do now, and look at where we've been to articulate where we have the potential to go. As you'll see in these photos, in early March 2020, when most of us were still not attuned to what COVID-19 would mean for the world, WSPA was awarded APA's award for the Outstanding State Provincial Territorial Association of the Year. 3 months into my presidency, I accepted this award on behalf of all those who worked tremendously hard in 2019 for a number of successes, especially our most recent past president, Dominika Breedlove. We saw the creation and ongoing expansion of several committees, including the Disaster Relief Network and Legislative Advocacy Committee, increased membership engagement and expansion, and for the first time in the last decade, finished the year at a net profit instead of a net loss. I'm unspeakably proud of my colleagues who took our 2019 momentum to unflinchingly address the demands of 2020. As it turns out, we've been fostering resilience all year, both as psychologists and as WSPA members as well. As our state shut down, psychologists rapidly shifted to telepsychology, not decreasing, but actually increasing people's access to high quality mental health care. Within WSPA, our disaster relief network, especially our DRN lead, Dr. Debbie Shapiro, has been working tirelessly since the pandemic began to ensure that WSPA contributes meaningfully to pandemic responses at every level. This includes participating in stakeholder meetings throughout the state as we use psychological expertise to understand and mitigate the toll COVID-19 takes on behavioral as well as physical health. DRN is also currently creating an in-house pro bono volunteer list of psychologists willing to give some of their time to help those most affected by the pandemic. In terms of racial justice, across the country, millions of people were willing to turn toward and watch the wrenching final 8 minutes and 46 seconds of George Floyd's life, among other losses, and sit with what his death and many others mean for all of us. Many psychologists have translated these moments of racial reckoning into an ethical imperative. There's been an explosion of educational offerings, both formal and informal, regarding racial trauma and justice, and an equal explosion in psychologists seeing and naming this work as central, not peripheral, to our profession. Following our July town hall, a group of WSPA members revitalized our diversity committee. After debating committee names, including myriad combinations of diversity, equity, inclusion, and empowerment, we settled on the name Good Trouble, in memory and honor of Representative John Lewis, a lifelong civil rights activist who encouraged us all to make good, necessary trouble in service of greater justice in our country. Good Trouble is actively planning upcoming trouble with bi-weekly meetings, and now includes a study group currently led by Drs. Goldenberg and Hernandez that all WSPA members are welcome to attend to better enable us to serve all the individuals in our communities. Throughout this weekend, you'll have many opportunities to learn how we're fostering resilience as an organization. We welcome your involvement whenever and in whatever capacity you feel called to join us. We will continue fostering resilience during this convention. I want to highlight a few offerings that speak especially powerfully to this theme. Our keynote speaker up next, Dr. Ortiz, will share how we can best assess and serve bilingual individuals in our typically monolingual culture. On Saturday morning, 3 experts in the field of disaster relief, Drs. Malseth, McGuire, and Burkell, will teach us how to expand the range of our skills in disaster preparation, response, and recovery, reaching more than just those individuals who seek our care. Finally, on Saturday afternoon, Dr. Hayes will share her expertise in delivering CBT in a multiculturally responsive way. On behalf of everyone who planned this convention, we hope you find these and our other offerings support you in your work, meeting the tragedies of 2020 with bravery and compassion as we join together to move toward a better, more resilient future. Thank you for being here.